Okay, as David Frost used to say, that was the week that was, or in the case of the last week, a genuinely crappy week. The game has moved on a little bit. As you can see, I've got a little character who's now walking around the city. Not particularly fast, in fact very slowly, but I have a run animation rendered and ready to go, but I've not implemented it, but I have got controls now with a it's like a USB Xbox controller which I've got for the PC and I can use to move him around. I've also got, wait for it, this is exciting, a camera which also rotates around and also zooms out and zooms back in again. But that's a very new feature. I only programmed that this morning, so there's a problem there with pop-in, but I haven't decided how I'm going to use the camera yet. But yeah, so I can move my character around the city. These delays actually aren't typical. It's probably my computer doing something in the background. But I have had a few frame rate issues in the last week, but I think I've sorted them, smoothed out the frame rate by using the fixed update method rather than the standard update method, which means that the character moves a set amount every set period of time, as opposed to moving a set amount every frame. Because some of these frames take longer to render than others, it was causing a slight lag, or you'd suddenly jump forward a bit. But this camera, I avoided programming it for a long time because I thought it would be really difficult, and in the end it ended up, I think, about 2 lines of code. The same for the controller. I'll actually bring up the drag it in from my other screen. The game controller works out as, I think, those, is it 6 lines? 6 lines of code. Somewhere else I put them into the equation. Oh, here it is. The hero movement touchscreen is a vector 3 which contains the movement along basically X and Z. Oh, vector 3, it should be a vector 2. I'll probably break it now, I don't quite know why that's... Yeah, it is a vector 2, I'm pretty sure it's a vector 2. I'll start it and run it again. Yeah, so once I've fed these inputs into that, yeah, it's not broken it, thank God. Yeah, it works straight away, so I'm quite happy, but that's not been the majority of my week. That was just a couple of little features I added this morning. The reason the week's been so difficult, very difficult, was because of this. I should have a drum roll at this moment. I have now got oh, the number of times I've actually run this and it's worked fine, and then the first time I run it for the demo, it's got a bug. What the hell was that? Yeah, I do have building interiors working, not working most of the time. As you can see, I've even got the buildings having some interior rooms with doors that, I'll zoom in for this exciting bit, doors which open. Again, actually the doors were about 2 minutes work. What literally took the entire week was getting these layouts working, because the building layout, though you can't see it, the building layout is the same shape as this mesh is the same shape as the building we walked into, so I've got some coherence between the outside world and the inside world. these interior walls are a separate mesh, as you can see. But that took that must have taken about 4 or 5 days to get it working. It doesn't look particularly exciting, but it really did take a lot of work to get that working. I originally had Voronoi, I think I'm getting used to saying that, Voronoi maps. I was generating Voronoi maps for each of the layouts. What you can't actually tell here, because it's not really working particularly well, is there's a little bug there. Some of these junctions aren't filling the walls incorrectly, but it's simply because at the moment I'm generating these wall layouts randomly. They'll eventually be linked to the same random seed which generates the shape of the building. But there are a lot of different wall junctions I could have, because some wall junctions have doors at different points, and it's creating quite a large variety of variations of walls, and I've not gone through and identified those. Sorry, I'm yawning. I've not identified those yet, every single one of those, so I am getting these little strange little junctions forming. I've also got a bug here because every time I move up a level I'm not deleting the previous entry doorway, but I can walk back out, and here's another bug. It returns me back to the same place I started on the level. I need to do a lot of work fixing these bugs, but I've done about 3 of these videos this week, and none of them have worked because I was using screen capture software, but I'm now using one of these Kaiser Bass game capture units which I've borrowed from a friend, and it seems to do the job, so I'm hoping that this will be the last video I'll do this week, and next time I do one it'll be more fun. But it's been lots of very, very late nights. I'm trying to find a building which will probably have a nicer room layout. Perhaps a skyscraper over here. I need to get the running working because this is very, very slow. And like I say, they've been late nights, and they've been crappy late nights as well, because what was it? What night is it tonight? Today's Thursday. What was it? Last night? Oh, last night was the first night of the week when somebody famous didn't die. Tuesday night it was Lauren Bacall, which was really sad because, well, one, I used to love Lauren Bacall. Loved Humphrey Bogart. Loved Jason Robards too, one of my favourite actors. But I actually wrote to Lauren Bacall when I was writing my books of spoof letters, and I got a nice signed photograph of her. I wrote to Elaine Stritch as well, who died about a couple of weeks ago, and I got a nice little note from her. So it's not been a great week in terms of that. And Monday night, of course, Robin Williams died, and that just sort of floored me. Not just the fact he died, but it was the manner of his death, and the whole story, I suppose, around his death was particularly depressing. I suppose it's a kind of old cliche of an artist who either chooses to sell out or give up, and I suppose he gave up because he couldn't handle selling out. Oh, here's another bug. Occasionally I get a room which won't let me out. I'm completely trapped now. That's because I haven't figured out the correct algorithm, if an algorithm even exists, to construct rooms with the right number of doors. God, this is kind of some metaphor for my own life, I think. Trapped in a room. Yeah, Robin Williams. I mean, I should get slightly distracted here, but I could visit. Where are we? Internet Movie Database. I've not seen a Robin Williams film for a few years because I'm not a fan of Night at the Museum or Aladdin or Jumanji, and I doubt if I'm going to be a fan of Merry Freaking Christmas, which I suppose the least said about that the better. But yeah, there's some the film I would like to have seen, The World's Greatest Dad, which I think, Bobcat Goldthwait film. I really liked Bobcat Goldthwait's last film, God Bless America, which was a hard film to watch, but just brilliant, absolute genius. It's a film that's not going to get particularly well rated amongst a lot of people because it's pretty misanthropic, by which I mean he just hates the world, but it's a world that's easy to hate when men like Robin Williams choose to kill themselves, and James Corden lands one of the best gigs on American television, hosting late night talk show. And one of the funniest men is making films called Merry Friggin' Christmas and countless Night at the Museum sequels. It's just depressing. R.V. was a good film. Underrated. I think Cheryl Hines, was it? Yeah, Cheryl Hines. Curb Your Enthusiasm, just more misanthropic genius. But yeah, 1 Hour Photo was a brilliant film. Oh, Death to Smoochie is, I mean, Jesus, 6.4 for Death to Smoochie. It's just a brilliant film. Danny DeVito just does black comedies better than anybody. Just, Christ, the man's one of the best filmmakers around yet. I don't know. Christ, I'm being distracted. Back to the game. Oh yeah, I'm stuck in this little box. I did originally, actually, what took about 3 or 4 days. Actually, I think about Saturday, Sunday night, I was just sitting here for hour upon hour staring at sheets of paper. I just could not figure out how to get the room generation working. I could do the outer mesh really easily. These inner meshes, I just couldn't get them working. Oh, another little bug. This the backs of these rooms are generated. I've also generated procedurally the exits, the entrances, the stairwells, randomly at the moment, but the method is there. That one I'll link into my pseudo-random number. It will place these in the right place, but at the moment it's placing them at little places like that where it can't go. It needs to go in the middle of a wall, not in a corner or not near another door. Hence my character is stuck again. Bug hunting, as any programmer will tell you, I think it takes about 70 or 80% of the time. Actually writing original code is relatively quick. Just to prove that was a fluke, and it probably won't generate the same doorway. It's generated the very same doorway. There must be something about that shape which means it's there must be something about that shape which means that is probably the best place for the doorway. Possibly because that's the best place for the walls, so that limits. Yeah, that's why it's doing it. Because I always want my doorway to be on the back wall. I generate my walls first, and my walls are always going to go into certain places to avoid. You see, I don't want to run a wall down there because that would leave a very tiny gap. So because I've restricted the width of the rooms where I can put walls, so it won't never put a wall that way. It could put walls that way there, and it won't put a wall down there. It probably wouldn't put a wall down there. The walls have got to go there, and that limits the place that can go, because it wouldn't put it there because it needs a certain amount of space in front of it. So that's why that random number is producing exactly the same result every time. But yeah, more little bugs I need to work through, work out the logic of what's happening. What else? I've got an inventory system in place ready, because this game I'm hoping is going to have some RPG elements. I've got a little inventory system ready to work. The game elements, which are, I mean, I've created some crappy little graphics. I'm hoping. I don't quite know what to do about the graphics. I don't know if I can produce them myself, or find somebody to do them for me, or resort to some pixel art. I was thinking about doing pixel art, really kind of low quality pixel art, but these are a little bit too high quality. I've tried to draw a can of beans, but I can drag them in here. This is the text Sometimes, you know, powerful but slow to load is quick to empty. That was obviously does not refer to a can of beans, although in a way I suppose it does refer to a can of beans. But anyway, yeah, I've got some RPG elements. I can now turn my character around. I've figured out how to get, because these are sprites, they're not 3D characters, they're 3D sprites. I've got some residents, some citizens ready to, well, they are actually working, but I've disabled them at the moment. This population folder exists. These are all residents, but I've disabled the sprite renderer because I don't really want to be showing that off yet. Yeah, but I'm running into a few memory texture problems. These sprite sheets are enormous, and I'm not too sure how many characters I'm going to be able to have on screen at any one time. Because if I let me just load all my texture sheets. Another one directory. Go away. To work. I'm really tired. I need to have some time away from working on this game. My brain is slowly but surely just not working. Yeah, this is the texture sheet just for the legs. I'm using Texture Packer to pack them, but as you can see, it's leaving a lot of space. Texture Packer can pack them in really densely, but the problem with Unity is it likes them in grids. The default texture system works from grids. If texture, I'm thinking about trying to maximize my texture space by writing my own input routines for Texture Packer, because Texture Packer produces an XML file which crams all the little sprites very close together, rotates them, and does all tricks to pack them in the densest way possible. But I would have to then interpret the XML sheet to find out the location of all my sprites. At the moment, I'm just happy to have these little these grids. It makes life easy for me. But the problem is it's not particularly efficient, and I think if I carry on introducing lots of... It's okay for the hero. The hero can have as many sprite sheets as he likes because I'm only drawing him once, and it doesn't take much time to load a new sprite sheet to give him different clothes or different weapons, because I think I'll probably, as you can see, there's a bit of a weapon system already in there. It's making this game sound immensely dumb, and it probably will be, but there will obviously be some element of violence. Yeah, but I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to get the variety of world citizens working in a way that's that looks interesting enough, because like I say, I'm running into texture problems, but I think that'll probably be the subject of my next video, because now that I've got the game working, the city's working, the character is working, camera's working, the building interiors are almost working. Hopefully they'll be working better in the next few days as I start to add a little bit more interior content. Oh Christ, fix that bug. And hopefully next time I do a video it will be full of gory game action, and it won't look as lame as it's looking at the moment. But here, I should explain what this is. This isn't actually one of the procedural buildings. This was going to be one of my city buildings. It was one of the first city buildings I built. I was thinking the city was going to look more gothic than it looks now. And it was actually going to be, I think, a bookshop or a printer's or something. You can see I've written a little thing on the floor to sort of help me debug it, but eventually this is going to be the location of the character's home base, home. More non-procedural buildings in the city, but not near this location, and I'm not going to walk to them. I was thinking about using giving one of those segways to move around on. Maybe I will. Yeah, but hopefully, yeah. Damn it. Yeah, I need to figure this out because what I've not shown, and it's a shame I've not shown it because it's actually quite good. I don't think I've shown it. I've done a few of these videos, like I say, and they're all beginning to blur. I can't remember what I've spoke about in one video or another. There we go. But what I can do if my wall collision doesn't become too. Come on. Oh no! What the hell's? As you can see, it's bloody buggy. But oh, I want to walk that way anyway. I'm gonna walk this way. Yeah, but what was I gonna say? I'm immensely tired. Yeah, my staircases are working, and hopefully, what I intend to do is have a lot of action taking place in these rooms and mission objectives taking place within the building. So that's one of the my next objectives. I'd like to get working just to have some basic missions working. I think that's probably what I'm going to work on next, after, of course, fixing all these many bugs. Anyway, I think I've spoken enough. I think I'm now beginning to see the flaw of using a game capture device. Bandicam used to limit me to 10 minutes, talking for 10 minutes, and I have no idea how long I've been talking. But if anybody's listening, thank you for listening. I don't think anybody is, but I hope it inspires other people to use Unity, because if I can make something like this, I think people with real imagination and real programming talent can produce something genuinely special. As it is, I'm happy to be doing this, and I hope to do another video in a few days. So until then, again, thank you for listening.